I'm challenged because they gave me 3 hours, which may sound like a lot to you, but the shortest thing I do is 50 hours usually. And I don't do weekends at 50 hours because I like talking. I do it because I believe that in order to change, you've got to condition yourself. How many ever made a change and it didn't last? Say aye. If you don't raise your hand, you lie about other shit too, don't you? Why do we make changes not have them last? Because the first step to change is understanding. And understanding is pretty easy to get. Right? If you think about mastery of something, step one is intellectual mastery. Understanding it. That and $3 will almost get you a Starbucks. Meaning understanding is invaluable, but not by itself. See, people say knowledge is power. True or false? False. Knowledge is potential power, it's not power. Execution is power. Execution trumps knowledge every day of the week. Who agrees with me on this? Say aye. So you have all these great speakers here, and many of my friends. So you got a chance to visit, it sounds like, Robert today, and I was just Gary Vee yesterday in New York, so I got to see him, I guess, today by holograms. You like that? And he really curses, so I can't do that stuff. But what I really want you to know sincerely is you have all these great tools, but really what I want to do with you in this short time is to develop a format that I know can have lasting impact for you. Not because I'm so great, because you're so great if you apply it. And what I really want to do is, most of these ideas are giving you strategies are probably some of the best, but they're worthless if they're not executed on. So how many of you in this room have gone to a learning environment before, could be a university, seminar, whatever. You went, you learned something you thought was valuable, truly valuable. No one sold you. You said, this is good stuff, this will help my business, this will help my life. And then you went home and you never actually applied a frickin' thing that you actually learned. Who's done this before? Say aye. Who's done it more than once? Say aye. Who still feels intelligent? Say aye. Now we're all smart people, so I've done it too in the past. So I became obsessed. Like, why would I spend this time, this energy, the money? I'd be pissed at myself. Because like, I'm not applying this. Who's ever had that feeling, honestly? And instead of being pissed at myself, I began to realize I'd only done the first step of mastery. I understood it. In fact, I'd go to seminars, I'd read books, because I was obsessive. I'd read everything. And after a while, I became jaded, because it's like, I already read this story. 20 people said this before. It's the same shit. But what I missed was that I understood intellectually, but I had not really made it part of my emotion. And the second level of mastery, if you're not mastering it, don't beat yourself up. It just means you understand it, but you gotta go to the second step, which is enough emotion in you when you think of it, that you truly follow through. See, you have to link consequences, positive or negative. Positive so that you wanna do it, negative so you don't not do it. And if you do that with enough repetition, and by the way, repetition is the mother of skill. You know, if I'm working with the greatest athletes in the world, and you got somebody like LeBron, how often does he practice the same stupid shot? Over and over and over and over again. Hours and hours every day. So what most of us is don't want something new, but the people the best in the world are doing the simple shit over and over again with repetition. They don't bitch about it. They know every time I do this, I'm wiring myself with greater strength. And so you have to do the repetition, but also with enough emotion that you finally get to real mastery, which I call physical mastery. Physical mastery, you don't have to think about it, it just happens. How many of you have an area of your life where other people think it's tough, but something for you do and it's damn easy, quite frankly, because you've just done it so much, it's in you. Who knows what I'm talking about here? Say aye. So how the hell do we make real progress in 3 hours then? Then we're gonna have to really push ourselves with a different level of energy. Because if you learn the way you traditionally learn, which you're all dropping into right now as I'm speaking, you can feel it in the room, you're all going back to your schooling right now without realizing it. You're going to a learning style you learned back then. And what you learned back then was for a 20th century job. Because what happens in school? The first thing that happens when you're a child is you learn that when the bell rings, what are you supposed to do? Come on, tell me. Report to your position. Why do they teach you that since you're in kindergarten? Because school, the one we still go to, people go to today, was designed 150 years ago. It was designed for somebody who was going to get a job later, and you had to train them to show up on time, and when the bell rang, go to their position, because what were they doing?
Factory job.
Assembly line in those days. Go to their position, and what were you supposed to do? Initiate, make shit happen, talk to people? What were you taught in school? Sit down in your chair, what are you supposed to do immediately? Shut up, don't talk to your neighbor, don't initiate. Today, if you're in business, you don't talk to your neighbor, you're out of business. Who's with me here? Say, ah! If you don't talk to anybody, it's over. That's a fact. Now, when I was in school, I had a particular teacher, I'll never forget, Mr. Giles in the 5th grade. He hated children, which somehow doesn't seem to help you as a teacher. He not hated children, he hated the sound children made. So you had these 3-hour periods of no talking. You had to be totally silent. Now, I was a bit of a talker, I bet that surprises you. And I tried so hard, but after about 2 hours, I would talk to somebody or blurt something out. And I had to write these 10,000 word essays. Why I'll never talk again in class. True story. I did 6 of them in the year. 6 of them. I was a slow learner. I remember I got my 10-year high school reunion, all the teachers showed up, and Mr. Giles showed up. I went up to him and I said, hey, look, this talking thing worked out pretty good for me. So today, as we do this, before we do anything else, I want to call your attention to the pattern of learning you have, because it doesn't serve us. It serves us to take information in, but it doesn't serve us to take action. Because as you're sitting right now, and you've all been very kind to me, you laughed at some silly jokes, please continue that shit. You've been smiling and nice, you have great energy. But the problem is you're all sitting like this in a passive state. And so whatever you're learning gets linked to the state you learned it in. So 20th century learning was this, and you're still doing it. So you might be having a great time, oh, that's really useful. Or I think I can apply that, or damn, he has big teeth. Whatever you're thinking right now, whatever you're thinking in your head, if you're thinking, even if you're having a good time, if you're in this passive state, that's what you're going to link to your learning. So you're going to go, this is really good. I should do this shit. So change my life, change my business. And later on you'll be like this, you're like, I really should do this shit. Because that's the state you're in. How many know what I'm talking about here? Say, ah. Research shows if you sit and listen to me passively, which is what you were taught to do, you're going to remember about 10% of what I said a month and a half from now, 2 months from now. That's a waste of your day, your money, your time. It's a total waste of mine too. I don't want that for you, and I sure don't want that for me. So who came here because you really want to make a significant change in some aspect of your life? Say, ah! And if we're going to do that, we got to bring a different energy to it for it to show up when you leave here and be real. So one of the ways we're going to do that is do some things that might seem positive thinking, and I'm not into that. If you think I'm positive thinking, you don't know who I am. I don't believe in positive thinking, I believe in intelligence. And what I do believe though is energy with high levels of intelligence is amazing. Low energy with high level of intelligence, you're not going to apply yourself. Who's ever done something after you did it, thought, I can't believe I said that, I can't believe I did that, that was so stupid. Who's ever done this? Say, ah! Who's ever done something after you did it, like, that was me? You don't know how the hell you did it, but you impressed the shit out of yourself. How many have done this before? Now what's the difference? You're the same person, right? Same ability. How come one situation you can't fight your way to the paper bag, all of a sudden you're ripping it open? The difference is your psychological or emotional state, which is powerfully influenced by your energy. So where do we get the energy to take ourselves to where we want to go? Where does energy come from? How many agree that energy is the fundamental key, or you will not follow through no matter what the F you know? How many would agree with me? I would say, ah! So I'm not into pump up, but I sure as hell am into generating energy. Now, energy without intelligence, energy without strategy, you're like a chicken with your head cut off. So we're going to cover the strategies too. Today, I've come by not to do a talk. I've come by to help you change your life for real in one day, because it only takes a moment to change your life. Anybody that tells you, people say to me all the time, oh, it took me 10 years to make this change. Bullshit. It took a moment. It might have taken you 10 years to get to the moment when you finally stepped the F out, where you finally said, no more, not in a day, not in an hour, not in a moment. And then all of a sudden, you said, no more, I quit, let's begin, I do, I love you. How fast can you change your whole life? How fast? It always happens in a moment of decision. You've got to decide. And most of us don't until there's a wall here, a wall here, and a wall here, and they're all crushing on us, and somehow we move forward. I suggest we do it more proactively. I suggest we train ourselves to be decisive. I don't believe it's our conditions that shape our life. I believe it's our decisions that shape our life. But we got to get conscious about it. And you're not going to make them if you're out of the habit. Making decisions is a habit. And if you only make decisions when you know exactly what's true and you know for certain it's a good or bad decision, You're a follower, not a leader. Because leaders have to make the tough decisions when there isn't certainty. And by the way, will leaders make the wrong decisions, yes or no? Who here has made the wrong decision before? Say,